Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Marlene, and on this video I'll continue talking about the material of Ra, the law of one, and what are nomads, as Ra explains it, which is basically another name for starseeds that Dolores Cannon talks about. And starseeds or nomads are basically entities from higher or souls from higher realms that decided to volunteer and reincarnate on the third density, which is the density that we're like leaving behind. Like we're not longer on that density, we're moving on to the 4D, 4 density. So any soul that's being born right now, it's of a 4th density. I would still have like our physical body because we're on like that process, okay? On that, we're still on that quantum leap to move to the next density. And why they choose the 3 density? Because it's the only density that has the veil of forgetting or the veil of oblivion, basically where you don't like remember who you are, what you came here for, like your purpose. And it's the only density where again you have the ego and you have cataclysms that can help you on your soul to keep ascending, right? To keep like raising your vibration, moving on to higher densities. The only density where you choose what if you're gonna polarize positive or negative. So basically reincarnating in other densities doesn't really make sense because this is the only density where you have to make that choice. So there are 3 reasons why these nomads decide to volunteer to reincarnate. The first reason is because they come from a higher density, they are still trying to polarize positive. Remember that the 6th density is that density where you're trying to balance both polarities. So trying to polarize like positive or service to others is to try to help your whatever area or like density that you can, right? Therefore it helps them on their own ascension so they can move on to the next density. The second reason is because since they are souls from higher densities, their vibration or their soul is of a higher frequency. So literally their presence here on earth is what helps this earth raise its own vibration. So it's basically they're here just to exist, and it's kind of like their only job or duty is just to be present with their high vibration. That's their service. And the third reason will be because they have very unique abilities. Like we all have abilities in a way, but they're like more specific, as in like they can be like great scientists, they can be great like musical composers, they can be great healers. Like they have very unique abilities that help others, like that's their service. Now Ra gives this percentage of the nomads that are like fully awakened, that they know why they came here for, and it's like they have completely getting rid of the veil of forgetting, of oblivion. And it's very little, it's like 8.5 to 10%, and 50% are those that just have like a feeling of like not belonging here, or not belonging to this madness or craziness, what Ra calls it, this delusion. 10% will just feel different, like not so much, like they just know they're like, I guess like weirdos, but they don't really know why, okay? And even though they can't remember exactly what they came here for, they're still serving, okay? They're still trying to help in their own way. And even if like other people don't believe it, okay, even if others don't believe this stuff, like if you're watching this video, you're probably a nomad and you like understand these materials, like you know there's something else, right? You don't see me as like, what is she talking about? Like you get a sense of what I'm trying to say. So all these channelings were made in the 80s. So around that time, Ra gives an estimate that around 65 million nomads reincarnated at that time. But right now, like Dolores Cannon says, there's like a new wave of volunteers. So obviously, the numbers might be a little different. Negative entities also have nomads, but it's very few of them, okay? Because the thing with coming to a lower density is you have a risk of forgetting, right? So you can forget, and you might polarize negative. If you were positive, maybe you're negative, while the negative entities also can polarize positive in the process. So it is like a risk that a lot of them won't even take. They're very like cowards because they literally don't want to make that risk. They don't. Also talks a lot about how these nomads tend to suffer from like feeling alone, and it's because since they're coming from like a higher frequency, their body's already like made out of light. Coming down to a like lower density means that the body mind soul complex that you need to be able to be part of this density, it gets hurt, right? So this triad of your mind, body, and soul gets hurt during you trying to like come down to this density. So that's why we see a lot of people having issues like allergy issues, like intestinal issues, acne, because the environment doesn't like resemble what the higher like densities are. So they suffer a lot within like their physical body and mentally. Ra uses the word like personality disorders. Basically could be like bipolar disorders or depression, because again it's like because they can really balance their vibration. Like there are moments where they feel really high and really low, and it's like just they can really tune into an actual frequency that's more in tune with their authentic self that they came here to do, because again they probably can't even remember that they came here to do something. And a lot of times some of the most like frequent or popular disorder that's out there is like anxiety, where people just feel very anxious when they're around like out in public or even like public speaking, because again they're not like used to that vibration. And it's the main affliction of this like density. It's psychological, so they do feel alone. They do feel like atypical, like they're not at home, like they're always what's the word, like lingering for wanting to like go back home. Like there's a sense of like being a foreign on this planet. Each nomad, depending on which density they came from, behaves a little differently. So the ones from like the fourth density, like Jesus who came here to like teach us about love, it's a density of servants to other, teaching us unconditional love, forgiving everything. It's almost like becoming a martyr, right? Because you're trying to serve so much to others, and it's all about love. And let's just say they don't have a lot of wisdom, which is like the next density. So basically right now, most of the people being born right now we have our heart chakra open, so we try to serve others, right? But those that came from the fifth density, they are attributed to like the hermit. So they tend to be souls that people say like, oh, they're like old souls, like for some reason they know so much, like they have a lot of wisdom and they spend a lot of time alone being by themselves. But it's all about learning like learning about yourself, having wisdom. Like, yeah, in a way you're helping, but not to the point of becoming like a martyr. And those that came from the sixth density have more of a clear job, that they came here specifically for like a purpose, like to create inventions, like scientists, like to create new educational system, new inventions. Most people like come from this density, the six, because again they're trying to like polarize positive. Every 2,000 years the consciousness of the planet changes. So 2,000 years ago was when Jesus came to basically teach us about love, and since those 2,000 years have passed, we are now trying to have another conscience where yes, we still like operate in love, but now we're trying to do something from like the fifth density, which is more about wisdom. So that's why we're starting to also see a lot about like mindfulness, meditation, a lot of controlling your ego, mental control, raising your vibration. So if you're watching this video, pretty much I think you're a nomad. I think I'm a nomad, and our job is to raise the vibration, raise the frequency of this planet. And because Ra explains also that it's very important that you do it on an individual level, because again, this is the only density where it works like a mirror. So in order for you to see like change out there, you have to first change within yourself, and it will reflect it back in a way. So I think that's all I have for today. I hope you guys like this video, and again, just you are not alone. You are actually very brave in coming here. Like, you actually are very brave in coming here trying to help, because again, you could have polarized negative and you didn't. Like, you're very, very adventurous. Okay, so keep it up.